Hi, my name's Kosta and welcome to the PaperThin Place. And basically what we do here, we talk about what we think, and how that then impacts each other. And we have conversations around communication, creativity and culture. Sometimes we do that through the lenses of leadership, diversity and art. And today I want to talk and share just some thoughts around what I think is the difference between comment and feedback. So over the years, I've worked in kind of leadership and developed leaders, but also been developed by other leaders myself. And one of the things that I noticed is that there's a difference between comment and feedback. You know, we live in a very comment-driven kind of culture and world at the moment where you can just drop some random comment onto anything, but you're not always aware of the impact that might have on that person or what they're trying to do or what they're trying to say. And this is where I think feedback is slightly different. Feedback is something that requires two parties. Take, for example, the idea of like guitars and amps and how they used to work. Like a guitar would produce a sound and would go into the speaker would then kind of produce a sound, and that would affect the guitar, and so on and so forth and so on and so forth. And that would create like a feedback loop. So when we think about feedback in the context of developing leaders, for example, then actually that should be something that replicates that, or something that is similar to that, where you've got two different parties and one says something to the other and the other says something to the other back, and so on and so forth. And it goes round and round and round. And you can see from that kind of illustration maybe that comment is kind of one way and it lands and it does that thing, whereas feedback loops round. So when it comes to developing leaders, maybe let's think about that. Maybe let's think about, rather than dropping a comment on people and not really understanding nuance and difference and subtlety and relationship and encouragement, maybe feedback is different to comment. Comment is this kind of shallow experience. It's this thing that skims across, that doesn't want to get involved, whereas feedback requires this loop and this kind of idea of movement between two parties or two places or two people. And of course, you can take this idea further afield. You can look at this idea of how we relate to each other, generally speaking. When we think about our engagements with each other, when we think about our conversations that we have with people, do we just drop a comment in that's kind of shallow, that doesn't really, have any depth to it? Whereas feedback is something different. It requires conversation, it requires exchange, it requires both expression and listening. So I don't know if that's particularly helpful for anybody, but it's certainly something that I think about when I think about developing leaders or working with people, that actually I don't want my engagements just to be shallow. I want to understand the long journey. I want to understand the longer kind of road that we're both walking on as part of that relationship, part of that development. I want to have my perspectives challenged and my perspectives changed because of the influence of that conversation, because of the relationship and the feedback that's going on. Sometimes I need to challenge myself in that. Sometimes I need that other voice from other people. And if that's the case, then what happens that's different to comment? That feedback actually enables us all to learn a little bit extra and learn a bit more from each other. And then hopefully, as a result of that, we all grow, which is amazing. So there you go. That's just a very quick little thought that's been buzzing around my head that I wanted to share and put out there. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment. Good, bad or ugly, on the little comment track. And again, if you like this kind of thing, then maybe consider sharing it with somebody or subscribing, as that all helps and encourages me. So there you go. Hopefully that's a bit helpful, and there's some other videos around some of these kind of like topics that are available on the channel, so please do check them out. Okay, until next time, thanks for watching. Be kind and be nice. Bye. And it's gonna be tricky.